come up here if y'all want, but right here on both sides, you got your shock absorbers for your cab. Make sure they're properly secured and they're not cracked, broken, or leaking. Here, you got your 2 little airbags. You want to make sure there's no cuts or tears in them and there's no audible air leaks. Make sure your catwalk itself is properly secured. And you want to make sure that your both your air lines and your electrical pigtail are hung up above the catwalk. Because when you're making turns, they can actually catch on these little corners and it will rip the air lines and electrical lines apart. So right here that I'm kicking, this is my drive shaft. So you gotta make sure your drive shaft is not bent, broken, or twisted. Right here, you have your yokes on both sides. Make sure your yokes, they're not cracked or broken. And in between, you have a universal joint. So you wanna make sure your universal joint is properly secured. It doesn't seem to be damaged and is properly greased. Right here, if y'all want, y'all can climb up here, like you'll get a way better view. So right here, this is your differential. You have 2 of them. So you got 1 per axle. So you gotta make sure your differential is not damaged. All the bolts seem to be tight and secure and it's not leaking. So obviously look underneath to make sure it's not leaking. Right here, this is your brake chamber. You wanna make sure your brake chamber is properly secured. Check all your air lines, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no audible air leaks. And you have to actually check to make sure your brakes are properly adjusted. So did anyone go over that with you guys?
No, you ain't talking about the slack adjuster.
Yeah, so remember with the B truck, it looks like an L, 90 degrees, same thing here.
90 degree, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta look at it from this way, because on your side, you got a plate, you can't see it, but you can see this one here. Yeah. So you gotta look at the slack adjuster as a bar that's going down and the rod going in. If it looks like an L, then your brakes should be properly adjusted. It's just a visual check. You see it?
Okay, so it's not like the one in front.
Yeah. The one in the front you gotta pull just like with that truck over there, but all the other ones, it's a visual check. Because realistically, it's not safe for you to be under there pulling on shit, yeah. While you're up here, right here, this is your leaf spring mount or hanger. Got another one on this side. Make sure that it's not cracked or broken. All the bolts seem to be tight and secure. You can see your leaf spring there. Make sure it's not cracked, broken, or shifted. You got some U-bolts there. Make sure U-bolts are tight and secure. They don't seem to be damaged. Right behind your U-bolts, you have your shock absorber. Make sure your shock absorber is properly secured. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking. And behind the shock absorber, or right next to it, is your airbag. So with these trucks, since there's so much weight, you have airbags, shock absorbers, and leaf springs. So your airbag, you want to make sure it's not cut or torn, and it's properly inflated, and there's no audible air leaks.
But they should be about 20 psi, though, right?
No, they just fill up. It's automatic. So they just fill up, and then you got your brake shoes that you can see from both sides. You want to make sure your brake shoes, there's at least a 1/4 inch of lining in your brake shoes. They're not cracked or broken. The drums aren't cracked, broken, or discolored. All right, so you guys holding up so far?
Yeah.
All right.